Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Yeah. Why check Castro, yeah, I need my ass. Why check Castro, yeah, I need my money line. Why check Castro, yeah, I need my money line. Why check Castro, yeah, I need my money line. Watch out for those who surround you, need no funny kind. You can't see what's on my brain, I live inside my mind. Out of space and out of sight, you need me in my line. Need no face, don't need no phonies, no. Need no snakes, no only homies down for show. On go. Get a book and get the front end, we load up and roll. I got kids, yeah, I got staff, I make a little need more. I sell records, you sell packs, not on my level, no. I'm a pop star, I'm a rock star, I'm a winner. Think I'm not hard, you smoke rock, hard waste, man, why you dumb? I'm with airline, we on airlines like we on the run. I'm with Tay, girls run up on me, they done. Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Yeah. Why check Castro, yeah, I need my ass. Why check Castro, yeah, I need my money line. Why check Castro, yeah, I need my money line. Why check Castro, yeah, I need my. Watch out for those who surround you, need no funny kind. You can't see what's on my brain, I live inside my mind. Out of space and out of sight, you need me in my line. Need no face, don't need no phone.
What is good? What is good? Give me 1 second, guys. Let me just turn this light on right here. And we are officially live. Nice to have you guys back with me with another live. Today is Wednesday, the 18th of 2021. I don't know why I said that. Just felt like I needed to say that. And today we're going to talk about basically the best side hustles out there, how to get started, and which ones to actually go ahead and choose. Now, obviously, I've made several videos on YouTube before talking about, hey, there's this side hustle, this one, these ones require money, these ones don't, this one requires no work. All those videos, I've created them. So I said to myself, well, why don't I go live, take questions live, but more importantly, why don't I talk about other creators' ideas about side hustles and then kind of break them down also and give you my own opinion on them. So this video right here in its totality, I'm going to give you well over 15 to 20 different side hustles from 5 creators, including myself, just to give you guys as many ideas as possible. Now remember, side hustles are great. They are supposed to make you money. If you have no plan to make money, it is just a hobby. So always remember that. Always keep that in mind. Drop a 1 in the chat if you are active right now, guys, so I can see it right here and make sure everyone's here. If you're new to this channel, subscribe. If you're coming back, like this video. Let's keep the engagement all the way up. As always, that's how we keep this live actually coming, okay? Now, I want to show you guys my little presentation here that I have prepared for you guys. Okay, I feel like a professional every time I come on here. Okay, so right here, if you guys know this creator, his name is Mark. You know, he's like one of the older creators here on the platform, and he make videos also about money. Now, he has 5 main side hustles he basically talks about, or basically ways to start making money if he had to start back from zero. So if he was broke today, what would he do to basically make the most money? And right here are the best 5 ways, okay? And I'm gonna break those down one by one. Now, by the way, guys, whenever you're seeing this whole screen here, feel free to basically screenshot, save it on your phone. That way you have this whole thing right here to look back into the future. To look back later on if you want to revisit this entire idea right here and don't have to go through an entire live just to get all the ideas again. Now, Mark's plan. If I had to start all over again, one is you grind like heck, meaning you get a job and you get also a side hustle potentially. Because the goal is whenever you're broke, you want to get seed capital. At least that's what my definition basically is, okay? The seed capital is what allows you to go from earned income into passive income. Number 2 is grab some of that income and invest it into passive incomes, for example, like ETFs or index funds or mutual funds, or what I call them, just to jump them all together, just securities, right? They're all just stock market securities. That's really all it is. Now, it's a very passive way to make money, which is great. But remember, the priority should be to use your money initially. What I would do is basically use my money initially to invest in myself and get the best possible job or career to make me a better amount of money. Because when you're hustling and grinding like heck, a lot of the times that basically means you're doing 12-hour days, 14-hour days. And if you're going to be, for example, trying to invest passively into ETFs, it's going to take way too long to see, for example, any real substantial improvements in your wealth, okay? Number 3 is scale your business so income goes right, or goes up. If you do build a business, scaling it is going to be very important, obviously. The idea is when I go into a business is how do I make sure this business does not need me actively? So kind of like delegation to make sure your business is scalable, but most importantly, can actually be created into a passive income providing business. And by the way, guys, if you guys hear rain or, for example, like sounds and so on, it's because I'm in the studio here and it's basically raining here. Number 4, guys, invest into assets, passive income. And by the way, this so far is basically pretty good and pretty great because it does make sense. So invest into assets like real estate or anything. You know, assets can have different definitions. It can be something that can depreciate but does earn you money, kind of like the rich dad, poor dad concept. And then lastly, you laugh in millions. So that's pretty cool. But overall, what would I rate this plan? It's a pretty good plan, you know. So you get a job, you invest some of that money, and you create a business and scale it up, and you use that money to basically invest into assets, build passive income, and also just enjoy your money. And by the way, the good thing is, or the bad thing is, you know, with all these plans, whether it's my plan, Mark's plan, any of the other plans I talk about here, they all require upfront work, right? And they all require patience. So it's very important. That's why I say I'd rather use my money, my initial money that I basically get, to go ahead and invest into a skill to earn me more money. So if I hustle 12 hours, 14 hours a day, great, but not really the type of life I actually want for the rest of my life. But the idea is, if I use that same money to grab that money and put it, for example, into a degree or a trade school or a license, that might be better, because once I'm done with that, I'm able to get that job or that career or that business in a sense and earn a higher salary without having to, for example, put in all that work over and over and over again every single day. It's kind of crazy to me. Now, number 2, we actually have over here the man, the myth, the legend, Graham Stephan, okay? The godfather of the finance world. So shout out to Graham Stephan. He started a lot of like the whole YouTube finance scene. So shout out to Graham Stephan. And also his course helped me a lot when it came to learning about YouTube and how to do everything. I always give props where the props are due. So shout out to Graham Stephan. Now, his video on side hustles was basically more about like types of incomes. That's what I took about, but that's what I took away from basically the description and so on. But you have basically 7 types of incomes. You have, for example, earned income. That's from a job, whether it's college, accounting, finance, whatever it is, that's a job, right? Earned income, you actually work for it. You have dividend income. Those are basically distributions from businesses and corporations that basically issue out money because you basically invested into it. So I put money into McDonald's every single quarter. They give me, for example, some dividends. On top of that, you have capital gains. It can come basically from the sale of an asset. So I have stocks, I have real estate. If I sell for a profit, I have a capital gain, okay? If I sell for a loss, I have a capital loss. Also, you have interest income. This can be, for example, if you do lend money, you can make interest income. You also have rental income, and that comes from basically tenants buying real estate and basically renting it out. You also have profit from a business. If you do build a business, that profit is also a type of income. And then lastly, you have royalty income, whether it's a book that you wrote decades ago or a course, not really a course, but you could say it. But royalty income is also passive income. Overall, one thing I will say, whether it's me or Graham Stephan or anyone out there telling you about different types of income, don't be overwhelmed by it. Initially, when you start something, anything, it is going to take a while to actually build income in that field. Very important, very natural. And a strategy I see a lot is basically, instead of locking in and focusing on one thing, people go ahead and kind of like spread their income into every single aspect. So they go and say, hey, my earned income, I'll put some into stocks here, some into trying to save for real estate, some into basically trying to get profits for business, or some into royalties, whatever. When you do that, it's kind of like, you know that saying where they say like, hey, you're spreading yourself too thin? Well, you're doing that for your money. You don't want to do that for your money. You want to kind of lock in and focus. So whether it's, for example, hey, I got this earned income, I'll take it and build wealth in the stock market while I buy a home, that's more attainable. But saying like, I'm going to do all 7 at the same time, very possible, but it's going to take a very, very long time. And at the end, you probably won't really have that much money because you kind of just like were very deteriorated by going across a bunch of different avenues, if that makes sense, okay? So kind of like lock into one thing. The most important thing, though, is going to be usually the earned income, because for the first few years, that's going to be your main source and also the funding source to all of your other ventures. So it's important that you have a high earned income. So anything above $40,000 is going to be pretty solid, pretty good. Now, The third creator we have right here, let me just go right here. We have the myth, the man, the legend, Mr. Tommy Bryson. This picture is so old. Before that time, I didn't even have dreads. And by the way, I'm really thinking about getting rid of this hair, you know, so potentially that might happen. Don't be surprised if in a live you'd be like, oh, Tommy got a haircut. Might happen. Now, the first 5 main side hustles, and by the way, I've done a lot of videos on this, and I talked about a lot of ones out there. But overall, the first one of the most popular ones is basically YouTube and Spotify playlists, content without showing your face. Number 2 is flipping cell phones. Number 3 is drop servicing. Number 4 is cash businesses, for example, like barbershops and nail salons. Number 5 is freelancing with skills, Upwork, and Fiverr. And don't worry, of course, I'm going to go into detail here. Now, when I say YouTube, I made a video about a year ago, I think now, where I spoke about basically, hey, here are several ways to earn money on YouTube without showing your face. And the overall concept is fairly simple. You make content revolving around a certain niche. So if anybody watching this live right here ever heard about, for example, Chill Cow or Lo-Fi Cow, it's like this channel and they upload like a bunch of music and nobody shows their faces. And it's all about just getting, for example, copyright-free music, re-uploading it, and then basically making money step by step, okay? It's a very good way to make money. Also, if you ever seen a channel where you have people talking about, for example, like top 5 technologies, top 5 foods, and it's always like a presentation type thing, and it's like a voiceover, those are ways to basically go ahead and make money without having to show your face. Or, for example, just plainly going on YouTube and go into, you know, content that people, well, it's called Creative Commons. That's what it's called, Creative Commons, so you can filter that in. But if you click those videos, you're able to re-upload them onto your channel and gain views, then monetize, and basically just make money without ever actually posting your own content. Now, people have done this with my channel, believe it or not. So they make channels, they kind of take my videos, and they kind of re-upload them and hope to God that they basically get a lot of views. It's a very lazy way to go about it. The whole goal is to grab those videos that creators allow you to actually use and make them better, improve them, add your voiceover, add your takes, make it original to yourself, and then go ahead and try to build a platform. But just being lazy, just reposting, re-uploading is not going to be the way. 2 for me is going to be flipping cell phones. This is something I did a lot of while I was in college, okay? One of my favorite things ever, you know, because it got me the chance to actually just go ahead and buy the new phones that I wanted to buy all the time. Well, this phone used to be cool, but now we have the 12, so things have changed. But the idea was very simple. I went on Facebook, I went on Craigslist, I went on eBay, I went on any and every site out there, and what I did was I bought phones for a discount. So the main question I get all the time is, Tommy, how do you find out the price, the market price of a phone? Pretty simple. You check the market. So if I want to check the iPhone 6 prices and what they're going for, look on eBay. What are they selling for? Look on Facebook. What are they selling for? How do you make a profit? You buy below that. So you got to get good at negotiating. I see this a lot. You know, people think that every side hustle is like a microwave. It's like fast food. It happens just like that. I want to buy for a discount. Sell me for a discount. No. It takes negotiation skills. It takes sales skills, right? So you develop those as you keep going. You're not going to get a sale right away. It takes time to actually develop this skill. So phone flipping is one that helped me out a lot. Number 3 for me is drop servicing. This one's actually pretty cool, and I love this one so much. And the basic idea is, if you can connect someone that offers a service to the person that needs a service, then you can be the middleman and basically get paid the difference, right? So if I hire someone, for example, from the Philippines to do video editing for me for like around $10 an hour, and I find someone, for example, in the US, you know, New Jersey, New York, whatever it is, and they're willing to pay me, for example, $25 an hour, I'm able to say, well, yeah, I'll do the work for you. I connect both of them. I'm the middle person. And since this person's paying me $25 and I pay them $10, meaning, for example, I get a profit of $15 and I really never ever did anything. It's kind of like a job agency, but fully online using drop servicing. It's a pretty cool one, okay? So you can do this with Upwork. I see that it works a lot more when you have employees that are coming from overseas, because basically the labor is so much cheaper. So keep that in mind. But there's also quality issues if there is miscommunication, so do keep that in mind. By the way, guys, drop a 1 in the chat if you're able to hear me. Number 4 is, for me, cash businesses. I've always loved these businesses a lot, you know, so it means some of my first money came from a barbershop partnership, really. So barbershops are a great way to make money, and you don't really have to be a barber, but you have to understand the business of owning a barbershop. Also, nail salons, hair salons, delis, right? A lot of these cash businesses tend to make a good amount of money, you know, and a lot of them basically, they don't really require you, because basically you can go ahead and hire some people and they do all the work for you while you're just basically at home chilling and collecting checks. So if you have a barbershop, you can have multiple chairs there, you can rent it out, and you get paid money every single week. The barbers work, and you just basically take care of the maintenance, the rent, and the bills and all that fancy stuff, but you get paid money automatically. That's the cool thing about barbershops that I love so much. One big thing is, though, that when you are buying a barbershop versus building a barbershop is pretty different, right? So if you do lease, for example, a location, let's say a new location, never been a barbershop before, the answer is it's kind of more difficult because that location has no history. But if you do buy a location from an old barbershop guy or whatever, well, you already have an established location there, so that's pretty cool, right? So that doesn't require really that much work. By the way, guys, towards the end of this video or this stream, I'm gonna be taking live calls and, for example, going on Zoom with you guys. So cash businesses are great. I love them a lot, but they do require maintenance and work. Nothing here is like 100% passive. Like, you do require some level of work. Number 5 is freelancing with skills. You know, when I say freelancing, I mean, like, is it passive? No, it's a side hustle, obviously. That means you have to have, for example, the skill that is in demand that someone wants, and then they hire you, for example, online. The cool thing is that basically, if you do build this up, you're able to work from anywhere and everywhere. So whether you are in Hawaii, whether you are on vacation, whatever it is, you're able to go ahead and basically work, you know. So that includes, for example, copywriting, video editing, designing, website building, thumbnail creation, social media. There are so many skills out that you can basically get and sell online, like an Upwork and Fiverr, and just make, for example, a decent amount of money. But again, people have a skill, they post a skill, they get no sales, they're like, doesn't work. It requires time. One of the best ways to make money when it comes to skills is through referrals. So you get that first person and use that person that requires your skills, know somebody else also that might require skills. So why not go ahead and basically try to get a referral to actually continue business, actually keep it going and going and going. But overall, those right there are my main 5. So let's go over to creator number 4, right? Creator number 4 here. We have Black Hustlers Club. I'm not sure what my man's name's here is. You know, I don't really know his name, so I apologize for that. But I know his channel is Black Hustlers Club. And his video was all about, for example, flipping shoes, flipping used items, Fiverr, charge for Instagram shoutouts, and also charge companies to help grow their social media accounts. And if you guys notice, right, all of us have different ideas because basically all of us have, for example, different skills and things that we're basically very, very good at. So overall, I did flipping sneakers. The only thing is that today you kind of need like bots to do this, right? So you need bots to get your hand on sneakers or connections. And because nobody really is gonna go like online anymore, usually to kind of like sit there and wait overnight and buy sneakers. But yeah, I did flipping sneakers, and it is a great side hustle. You can earn you a good, decent amount of money. Flipping used items always works, okay? It's one of my favorite ways, whether it's at Goodwill, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Craigslist, whether it's your own items. Flipping those items can make you a good amount of profit, and I highly, highly recommend it. Where do you flip, Tommy? Well, my first strategy is usually, if I have a used item, I'm gonna try to sell it like person to person first. So that means Facebook, OfferUp, or any other website like Craigslist also, right? Because that means if I sell directly to you, I get to skip a lot of the fees, right? So all those fees, like oh, eBay gets 10%, or Amazon gets 10% or whatever it is, right? So you get to skip all those fees. However, if it's been like a week or 3 days or 4 days, you can go ahead and list them on eBay, because eBay has millions of customers, and that is what you're paying for, right? Because you have a big customer base that is looking for your items. So don't be afraid to list your items on eBay. Also, 3 for him is Fiverr. Fiverr is great. If you have a skill, whether it's voiceovers, you have a great voice, whether it's YouTube, social media, whatever you have, Fiverr is amazing. Fiverr, by the way, is a platform where you basically go, you sign up, like kind of like social media, but it's kind of like for work. So you kind of put in all your details, what you're able to do, and people basically go ahead and hire you. Pretty cool if you ask me. Number 4, charge for Instagram shoutouts. You know, so if you do have a social media platform, by the way, guys, I am seeing the chat, so if you guys want to keep chatting, chat there, because at the end of this live, I will be answering questions and also making an announcement. But if you want to do, for example, social media, it is great. Does it work? The answer is yes, it does work. But again, just like anything on this whole video, it is not going to come off just like this. Oh, great. So where's my money? I've been trying to grow my social media. It's not growing. It takes time. It takes skills. Social media is a program, right? So a program has code, has algorithms. If you understand the algorithm, you'll know exactly how to grow. How do you learn this algorithm? You go on YouTube, you learn about it. I don't like lazy people. I don't honestly. So the idea is, if you want to do something, you're not stupid. It's just that you basically don't know something. So your job is to just go out there and learn about what it is you basically don't know. But wanting a result without knowing how to do it or not wanting to put in the work in is lazy to me. And so I don't care if you want a result and you're working towards it. That's not lazy, because basically you're being actively engaging towards whatever you want to accomplish. So to me, that's awesome. But just wishing and praying, not my thing. Number 5 for him is charge companies to help grow their social media accounts. Now, obviously, you do need like social awareness for this. Meaning, for example, you need to have, for example, like a social media presence, because if I'm gonna hire you, I have to know that basically you have a social media account and you're actually also popping, right? So I'm not gonna hire someone with like 3 followers. You need to have, for example, your own social media actually growing, engaging, and everything like that. And by the way, people always confuse, for example, like businesses and what they actually want. Businesses don't care about numbers. They care about customers. So the whole goal for them is, how do I use social media to get customers? It's not about the likes per se. It's not about, for example, the followers per se. It's about, for example, engaging prospects and turn them into customers. That's your job. That requires sales, marketing, and also, for example, just networking overall, right? So again, whatever you want to accomplish, you're going to have an edge over people if you're able to learn about the things that they basically don't know. So that means books, courses, YouTube for free content, everything possible to go out there and get the best content out there. Now, the last creator here is going to be my man's here, okay? This guy is pretty cool, man. Like this guy a lot. His name is JT Automation, okay? Now, JT Automation talks about a lot about different side hustles. For example, car wash, portable, garbage disposal, cleaning business, towing company, trucking business, logistics basically, loading company, and also tour transportation. And of course, I'm going to go over each and every single one of these. And again, guys, always feel free to screenshot what I'm saying, so that way you have these kind of like presentations kind of like locked in. So if you want to try them out later on, you can if you want to. Car wash portable. How do you do it? If you have, for example, like a little van or just like a little car with space, that's fine. It requires, for example, some buckets, a water pressure cleaner. It's like an investment for around like $150, $200 if you have a car already. It's all about going door to door and offering, for example, your service. People don't like going door to door, but it takes time. That's how you kind of build it, right? A lot of millionaires, you always hear about it. Hey, I started just by going door to door at first. So how do you find customers for car wash? You go door to door. Hey, your car, can I clean it up for you? Only like $10, $20 because it's your first wash. If I do become, for example, your regular washer, that'll be awesome. I'll always offer you a discount. You know, pretty cool. Marketing, sales is not just about doing the activity. And eventually, if you create, for example, your own portable car wash company, you can just hire people to wash the cars for you. And then it's just like a passive income streams as you build, for example, your large client list, right? And then potentially, if you want to, you can sell that client list to somebody else that wants a business, and just basically make a lot of money and get out if you want to. 2 for JT Automation here, garbage disposal. So if you guys don't know this, if you have a home and you're trying to get rid of certain things, you have to pay for a garbage removal people to actually come in and actually throw things away, because you just can't throw it away normally, like especially like a lot of debris. So, and if you do that, it's illegal. So if you can have, for example, like a van and go to people and be like, hey, I can throw away your garbage and all this stuff, that's also a legitimate way to actually make money. 3, cleaning business. So if you have like a little van or a little car, I saw one of these, for example, back in New York, and a guy had like 3 cars, and they were all like all the way promoted out with his clean service company, and he had like a few employees that basically just went to houses, businesses, offices, and just basically said, hey, we'll clean the office for X amount of money, enter them into contracts, and basically made a good amount of money. And remember, you can hire people to do the cleaning for you. Initially, it'll probably be you, and that's fine, but that's how you usually get started. Towing company. You can work, for example, with companies, and by the way, I'll maybe make a whole video on this right here, you know, because JT Automation has a lot of great ideas, okay? And guys, use what I'm saying here to check out these people's channel, because basically they also have a lot of great videos. But overall, towing companies, that's also a legitimate way to actually start making money. And you don't have to buy a towing truck. You can basically just rent it out initially, and that's also fine. But eventually, if you want to, you can buy your own truck, like your own towing company also. Trucking business. This right now is big because everything is logistics. When everything is being sold online, well, things have to be shipped, right? So that means you need truckers to basically deliver things from A to B. And not just, for example, like Amazon items, but it's also, for example, delivering cars, also like heavy machinery. All those things usually need trucks to actually get started. Now, initially, to buy a truck, it's kind of expensive, I know, but you could work for somebody's trucking company, gain experience, gain income, and then use that income to basically just buy your own truck or save up for it and then start your own business. And by the way, truckers make a lot of money. It's just a lot of hard work. So if you're into hard work, this right here would be solid. But the goal is use all that awesome income to go out there and save money to buy your own truck and turn this into a passive way to make money, because nobody wants to be driving away from family for the rest of their lives, okay? On top of that, number 6 for JT Automation here is loading company. Meaning, for example, if you have parties, you have weddings, you have events, right? What do you need? You need someone to load all those items into their van or whatever, and then send them to wherever you actually want to be located at, right? So that's awesome. Or even like a moving company, right? There's this company here in Puerto Rico that does this very well. It's like a one guy thing. He has like his own truck. He charges people like around $150 to $200 for moving their stuff, right? So imagine, right, if you have just like 5 people per week, well, 5 times $200, that's an easy like $1,000, right? So consider that. Obviously, am I saying you're gonna get that many clients right off the bat? Probably not. And by the way, his promo was on Facebook, so he put his advertisement on Facebook saying like, hey, moving company for hire, and he had like great pictures, great testimonials too, so that helps you a lot. Also, number 7, the last one for JT here, is tour transportation. So if people want to go somewhere, like say for example like a beach, or get to know like Manhattan or whatever city it is, and it's like a very vivid and alive tourist environment where you live, you can basically just use your van potentially, if it's like a 10-seater, 12-seater, and just like have people come in and charge them for a tour. 12 people, right? Multiply by 30, that's around look at that, that's around like $360 every time you actually do it, right? And you know, in Puerto Rico, you have people that basically do tours like for tourists here, just even to like El Yunque, like places like that. But in reality, anyone can do that, right? Because all you have is like the bus. You can basically just rent that out potentially. You have the listings, for example, like on TripAdvisor or Kayak or any of those websites out there. And then once you know basically like the tour route and how to do everything, and you have liability protection, obviously, because you do need liability protection in case anything happens. The answer is that's pretty much it, you know? And guys, that is basically it for this live right here. I really wanted to come on here and just share with you guys a bunch of different ideas when it comes to different side hustles you can actually potentially do. So overall, guys, just to summarize here, I'm gonna go back on the pages, and I want you guys interested, screenshot them. Okay, so we got, for example, Mark, screenshot, 1, 2, screenshot. We have, for example, Graham, screenshot, 1, 2, 3. We have, for example, Tommy, your boy, Tommy Bryson, 1, 2, 3, screenshot. We have, for example, Black Hustlers Club, screenshot this too, right? And lastly, we have JT, screenshot this too. And by the way, one great way to figure out what you want to do is just to try different things. You know, that's the whole goal. So if you don't know what you want to do, just try different things. Get a taste for it. You know, my fiance, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but today she's trying out, for example, like cleaning homes. I don't know for what, right? But she wanted to try it. So she went to this home and she was like, let me just clean your home for like a side hustle or whatever. And I'm like, you like it? And she's like, he's like, no, I don't like this at all. Okay, I don't like it. It's cool. I tried it. I'm out. But the only way to find out like what you want to do, what you're gonna be good at, is just to go ahead and basically just try different things out. Guys, overall though, that is the end of the hustling part of this entire like live. So now we're gonna go into the Zoom part and also like the calendar. Okay, so if you guys want to call me right now, I'm gonna share right now the Zoom link, so that way you're able to call me. If you guys have questions though, feel free to comment down below your questions right here on the chat, and I'll answer them, for example, live for you guys. But right now, I'm gonna go ahead and share the Zoom link for you guys right now. Okay, so just give me 1 second here because we are building this as we fly. So as I'm doing this, I recommend you go ahead and put your questions in. What do you call this? Put your questions in the chat so that way I can answer them and all that good stuff. Okay, so let me go ahead and start up the Zoom and share the link into the chat. Guys, it's awesome to talk to you guys, and remember, you don't have to show your face. I see your face. YouTube does not have to show your face, because basically I just want to say that basically you're like a real person and not a troll. But you don't have to show your face if you don't want to, so don't worry about that. So right here, guys, let me just go ahead, go into the chat and go ahead and share the Zoom link. I'm also gonna go, for example, on Skype, because I have, for example, like a Skype number. If you guys don't know, that's how I take calls. I'm gonna go ahead and basically enable calls to actually come into my Skype number, because whenever you guys call in, it goes directly to voicemail. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove that right now. Okay, so just give me guys a second right now. Again, we build while we fly. So as I'm doing this, go ahead and feel free to just comment your questions down below or join me. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my Skype number, which is this number right here. Let me go, how do I, okay, here you go. So the lines are open right now. I'm gonna put on my headphones. If you guys want to call me directly and talk to me one-on-one right now, feel free to do so. Here is, where's the Skype number? I'm trying to put it in. My Skype number is this one right here. So let me go ahead and share that with you guys. It is 518. We got 635. And we got 0992. So this right here is my Skype number. And the lines are actually opened right now. So if you guys want to call me directly and talk to me, that is my Skype number. I'm taking calls right now. The lines are open. And if there are questions, I will answer them. If there are not questions, I will be leaving. Because the whole point of these lives is to basically answer questions and help you guys as much as possible. Not here to be here and just like entertain. It's more like here to like help you guys directly and talk to you guys one-on-one. So you have my number there. You also have, for example, the Zoom link. If you guys want to join, feel free to do so. And by the way, nice to see you guys in the building. We have Johnny, we have Porsche, we have Gregory, and who else do we have in here? I think that's about it for right now. So I see one question here. Hi Tommy, with a savings goal calculator, how do you figure out that you will get the interest rate of 10% and just confirming M1 Finance auto rebalancing your portfolio? The answer is, when you're doing, for example, the entire like portfolio and trying to find out, for example, well, how do I know I'm gonna make that much money? Is based on history, right? So history shows you that that portfolio basically earns an average of 8 to 10% over the past 30 to 40 years. So that's where that numbers basically comes from. And yes, M1 Finance does have auto rebalancing, but they also have, for example, well, not auto, it's not auto at all, but they have, for example, dynamic rebalancing. It should not be auto because you want to do this, because whenever you want to sell and kind of like bring things back to a balance, you should do that. It should not be automated. But the dynamic rebalancing features, basically, they go ahead and whenever you invest, they invest the money accordingly to whatever needs more money. That way you have, for example, a great balance. Now, great question. Have you had any experience with an online socks business? The answer is no. I haven't had a sock business, but the answer is with any, for example, like clothing store business, people are more interested, for example, in the brand because there are already like a lot of companies out there like already established. So my goal would be, hey, I'm gonna work towards building a brand, right? That requires, for example, advertising. I recommend you find out about these Shopify people. Shopify people do a great job building a brand and also learning how to market and advertising. They do a great job. And potentially you can make it so you never have to have any inventory whatsoever either. So that's pretty cool, right? Because that means, yo, I don't need any inventory. So whenever I sell you a pair of socks, it's coming straight from the manufacturer or from whoever's actually distributing it, but I never have to touch anything. Great question, Gregory. Any more questions, guys? Comment down below in the chat. Let me know. That's what we're here for. If you want to join me in the Zoom room, feel free to actually come in the Zoom room. It's actually open, and I'm actually there. And yes, this is live. If you want to join me on the Skype, my number is there. Feel free to go ahead and call me directly and talk to me one-on-one. Now, as we guys basically go ahead and start commenting in the chat, I'm gonna go ahead and make a call. You guys will hear it obviously because it's one of you guys that actually went ahead and scheduled a call with me in Calendly. This person is Zay, so I'm gonna go ahead and give him a call or give her a call and see what's actually going on and how I can actually go ahead and help. So let's go ahead and give a call. And drop a 1 in the chat, guys, as always, so I can find out basically if you guys are able to hear these conversations. So drop a 1 in the chat, okay? Got you, Gregory.
Your call has been forwarded to an...
All right, 1 second. Let me send a text here. Sometimes some of you guys don't believe I'm actually gonna call you, and you're like, "What number is this? You know, whose number is this?" It's Tommy calling in for your call. Again, guys, if you guys want to call me directly, feel free to call me. The number is there. If you guys want to talk to me one-on-one on Zoom, again, feel free to join me on Zoom and talk to me one-on-one. The whole goal is to kind of like help you guys one-on-one, and that's what we come on this channel to basically do. So if I can help you, I will try my best to answer all your questions and help you as most as I can. And in a few minutes, I'm about to make an announcement about this channel and what's actually going to be happening with it. Okay, so let me go ahead and make this call one more time and give this guy one more chance to actually answer. If no answer, I'll go to questions.
Hey, hello.
Hi, hello, this is Zay.
Yeah, this is Zay.
Hey, Zay, this is
Hey, how
Tommy
you doing?
Bryson. How are you?
Hey, hey, Tommy, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Just want to let you know, Zay, before we start this conversation, is that this conversation is live, so people are actually able to hear you. Okay.
All right.
All right. So how can I help?
I kind of just got my EIA number, and I'm planning on selling shirts and clothes, and like I was wondering like what's the best way to start getting a loan, you know, with just like off my EIA number.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
What's your income?
Like 800 a month.
Okay. Are you going to college? Skill?
No, I'm not in college.
Okay. Here's the truth, right? The first question we always ask when we're impatient is, how can I borrow money to start my business that I've never started before? It's a very great way to start a fire and then catch on fire and then just ruin everything. If you're 21 years old and you make $800 a month, you have no business borrowing money, right, to start a business. What I would do is I would use my current income. You live with your mom or by yourself?
By myself.
Okay. So how do you make that $800?
I work at a wings like a restaurant.
Okay, restaurant. How often? Like how many hours a week?
Um, like what 5, 10, 15. I would say like 20 hours a week.
So that's part time, right? You got a lot of
Yeah.
time on your hands. You need more jobs, right? So if I were you, I was 21 years old. And I was starting, for example, a t-shirt business. I would start, for example, promoting it, building a brand, selling with what I have. A very great way to get interest and also make sales and kind of like save money when you're first starting is you make limited supply, like one-time designs. Like, oh, we got 100 or 50 or 20. Once this comes out, never coming out again. That creates scarcity in the person's mind, but also saves you money. And potentially you can say, yo, here's the design. We're taking pre-orders, meaning you get paid first, and then you can use that money to then go ahead and basically buy those t-shirts. Be careful trying to borrow money, right? Because if you borrow money and then things don't work out the way they work out, you still owe that money. The whole idea is people think that, well,
Correct.
if I open up if I open up a business, an LLC, I got an EIN number, it's an official business, I borrow money. If it goes bad, I'm not liable for it. That's not true. Banks are not stupid. Usually, they have like a good guy guarantee within those loans, which basically means if the business can't pay, they will come after you, and that's also going to ruin your prospects for the future also. So what I would do is I would be patient. Start with what I have right now. Take pre-sales. A very good book on this, Zay, is called Will It Fly by Pat Flynn. It talks about how to
Willie Clark.
yeah, Will It
Uh,
Fly
uh,
by Pat Flynn.
all
And it's a very
right.
and
Um,
it's a very good book about basically how to test out a business without having to spend any money when you don't have any money. And by the way,
okay.
if you are 21 years old and I'm you, I'm looking into trade school, looking into college, looking into licenses, whatever I could possibly do, because $800 is a good amount of income to just basically sustain myself, but it's not that great. So I would
Yeah, it's
consider
not. It's
getting
not great. It's not
yeah,
great.
so consider getting, for example, a trade job, going to college, or for example, getting a license. That means, for example, I work at the restaurant, I have another job, all of my money goes towards, for example, paying for school or paying for my trade school or whatever it is, in order so when I graduate fully debt free. Meaning, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, when you're 25 years old or 24 years old, you're making, for example, $40,000, $60,000 a year, and then that's actually a better prospect, right? And you're still pretty young. If by that point your clothing business, is basically like your side hustle, takes off, great. You can build off from that. If it becomes like a massive thing, then great. You can say, yo, all right, I'm not gonna do this job, whatever. But it's important you work towards having a skill to earn the income. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I get what you're coming from with it.
So what are you interested in doing?
Like business management. If I do go to college and choose, I'm going for business management.
Okay, why?
Um, I've been in like leader roles all my life. Been in that like manager spots pretty much often. Always selling clothes, always being like ahead of my age. So like business management fit me pretty much,
Okay, so here's a question,
and that's
right?
like what I want to do.
What
Yeah,
percentage of people that graduate with a degree actually get a job?
like it's like what, like 40%.
You don't know. What's the average
Don't
salary
know.
for that job?
I decided for what job?
Once you graduate for that degree, what's the average salary?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know the real
Okay.
salary for it.
What's the growth in that job, in that industry?
It should be pretty. I mean,
You don't know.
management like up
My
to.
point my
I
point
don't
is
know.
this, right? My point is this. Don't take choosing a degree lightly. Don't think that, yo, I'm young for my age, I like business, I want to manage something, so great. Use for example, just use business instinct, right? If you have a
Mhm.
business and I come to you say, yo, I want to manage your business, and I'm like, what experience do you have? I have zero experience and I just graduated college. Am I gonna let you manage my business? Probably not.
No.
That degree
No.
is usually, most commonly, a trash degree. So what I would recommend is, for example, right, I would use the rule of 10. Basically means you write down your top 10 careers that you're basically most fond of. So whether it's business management, accountant, finance, doctor, nurse, coder, whatever it is, write them all down, the top 10. And then it's called the rule of 10. And then what you do next is you do a mini research paper on each of those careers. So how long will that degree take me or that trade take me? What is the job prospect there? Can I actually get a job? Is there growth there? What's the average salary? Does that make sense?
Makes
So
sense.
so you want to find out all the details possible and make sure whatever you do pick, you like it. First of all, you're good at it, and it's also gonna make you a good amount of money. Anything above $40,000 is gonna be pretty good. But the idea is while you're going after the degree, you want to go ahead and basically have jobs to help you pay for school. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But don't take this lightly, man. You ever watch Game of Thrones?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I
you
have.
watched the whole thing?
Like season 4, like the season before last season.
Okay. My point is, you're at season 4. That's like 20 episodes deep. That's like 20 hours deep, right? Into something that benefits you whatsoever, does not benefit you. Spend that same time picking a degree or a trade. And by the way, don't limit yourself just to degrees, right? There's a lot of great
Right.
trades out there that can make you $100,000 a year, $80,000 a year. So look into all of them and dedicate that same time that you would, for example, into a TV show or into a job that you hate or into whatever you want to do. Dedicate it to that and pick the one that makes the most sense for you. So once you have that top 10, you have like a mini paper for all of them, you start crossing off the ones you're not interested in. And also consider going on YouTube and seeing like, yo, okay, so let me hear about this accountant and his experience being an accountant, right? So look into all those things too. But once you land on the top 3, you pick the one, in my opinion, the one that you like the most and has, for example, a decent amount of income. Because most likely your top 10, they're all going to make you money. But you got to make sure the one that you do pick to actually go into, you actually like,
It fit me.
and you're actually and you're actually good at. But not just fit you, because remember, this is not like a t-shirt, so it's not gonna fit you perfectly. It's just the way it is. It's just business. It's just a job. It's a career, right? It's obvious. So just make sure there's aspects of that job that you actually like and you enjoy. You won't like everything. At the end of the day, it is a business decision. If I'm gonna spend, for example, $20,000 of my own money plus financial aid plus TAP plus, for example, scholarship money on this whole degree, I want to make sure that I get a good return on my investment and I'm actually able to basically get a job. When you're in college, you're working, you have, for example, internships that are relevant to that job or that degree, so that when you graduate and I ask you, yo, what experience do you have? Well, I've been working for the past 4 years in this industry because I've had internships, whether they were free, part-time, whatever it was, but that's going to give you a very valuable experience. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. I get where you're coming from.
That's what I would do, brother. Any more questions?
So I mean, all right, if you have items to sell, right, but you have no social media or anything for it, like, do you know any way of selling them, like shirts or bags or shoes or anything like that?
If I have items to sell, are they personal use items?
No, like, no.
So are there new items that you want to sell?
Yeah, there are new items still like in the bag, you know,
Okay,
but I have no
are they
no
brand?
website.
Is it like your brand?
No, like other brand like Nike,
Yeah.
you
So
know,
go on
Adidas.
Facebook, Craigslist, hit up your friends, eBay, social media. If you don't got social media, make social media. Unless you're like stealing them and it's like illegal, then you're worried about it. But
No,
if you're not,
no.
if you're not doing, yeah. So if you're not doing those things, then just whatever it is that you don't have, go out there and get it, right? Make the social media, become that reseller, become that face people go to, get that Facebook, just build it up. You don't need like your own website because websites are overrated. Websites only work through SEO optimization, meaning search engine optimization, meaning you only drive traffic by people searching up the topics you're talking about in that website. If you make a website about t-shirts you're trying to sell, you have no traffic, no way to sell them. So that's why when you go to eBay or Facebook, the customers are already there, they're already searching, and that's why it's so much easier to sell over there. So making your own website when nobody knows about you makes no sense. But if you have, for example, your own Instagram, you have your website, you start making content and all that stuff, people search you up, people find you, people are interested. You start building, for example, your own customer base at the same time. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay.
All right.
Any more questions?
No, that would be it.
All right, brother. So, Zay, thank you for joining me live. Welcome to the long-term team. If you want to call back, always feel free to do so. But just get started. And I recommend get a skill, man. Get a skill. Okay?
All right, thank you. And thank you, Tommy, very much.
Appreciate you, brother. Peace out.
All right.
All right, guys. So that right there was Zay. And Porsche, thank you for answering my question. Always, always, always. If I can't answer, I will answer. One big thing is you see this a lot where people, they don't want to do something, right? And it's kind of like, I'd rather work at this restaurant, watch Game of Thrones, than go to college, get a trade, and get a license. Stupid. I don't want to, for example, I want to start this business. I have no experience, never sold a t-shirt, but I want a loan. Stupid. And by the way, when I say stupid, it's not in an offensive way. I'm not calling you stupid. I'm calling that stupid. Things that I do are stupid doesn't mean I'm stupid. It means just that one thing that I did was stupid, right? And I'm just honest about it. So if you want to start a business, start small. Imagine getting a loan at 21 years old, and they might do this, because banks are stupid too. So you have, for example, a 21-year-old guy walks into the store. I have a business. I want a loan. I'm 21. Oh, give that guy $10,000. Gets $10,000, buys $10K worth of inventory, has no way to sell it, no experience, now is in debt for $10,000, and only makes $800 a month. How crazy is that? And they'll do this stuff. They'll lend you the money. They're glad to lend you the money because all they want to do is drive you into a hole. I'm not into that. Okay, so consider getting a skill. Trade school is amazing. College is amazing. I hate college the way people actually do college. What does that mean? It means if you want to go to college, don't pick the private school. Don't pick the fancy school. Pick the school that's going to give you the most money. Usually, you go to trade school first. So you get those, not to trade school. You go to community college first. So you get, for example, those general education courses first out of the way for a very cheap price. You also raise your GPA at the same time, so qualify more for scholarships. You also get a job while you're there in those first 2 years or first 1 year to get like those general courses. That means, for example, those first 2 years, you're able to save a ton of money. Somewhere like around $20,000 or like 15K or like 10K. You have that money saved up. When you start applying for scholarships, you start, for example, at the community level, church business, state level, then nationwide. At least 100 to 200 scholarships. If people did this and picked the right degrees, we wouldn't have this massive problem of student loan debt because people would just not be getting into crazy debt. There's all this idea of like, yo, I want this right now. Give me the money. I'll borrow it. Things will be fine. And when things aren't fine, you're just stuck with the mess, right? And that's not what you want. That's not what you want at all. Guys, drop some questions in the chat if you have more questions. Lines are open, so if you want to call me, feel free to go ahead and call me directly and talk to me one-on-one. So I'll drop the number again. I'll drop the Zoom link again. And I'm going to wait, for example, what is this? This is a crazy link. That's not the Zoom link. The Zoom link is up there. I'm going to go ahead and basically pin the Zoom link. So if you click the pin Zoom link, you'll be able to go ahead and join me on the Zoom directly and talk to me one-on-one. Remember, you don't have to show your face on the Zoom link. All right, so don't worry about that. So that's fine. I'm going to go on break for like around 2 minutes or so. I'll be back. If there are questions, I'll answer them. People are coming onto the Zoom. I'll pause the break, come on the Zoom, talk to you guys one-on-one. And if you guys call me directly on Skype, I'll basically answer your questions one-on-one also. If I come back, there are no questions, then I'm going to end this show early. Because the goal is to answer questions. That's the goal here, right? That's always been the goal here. So I'll be right back in around a minute or so. are back from our break. By the way, if you guys ever wonder, tell me, what do you do on break? I'll go on my phone, I check your DMs, and I basically answer them. So, great break, right? Yeah, that's what I basically try to do. All right. Here's a question from Richard Money, GP, and well, not Richard, Rich Money, GP, and also from Cash Show. So let's get these questions. We have Rich Money, GP. Have you ever had an issue with getting a Duns and Brass number for yourself or someone you helped? The answer is no. I've never had an issue. It's pretty simple, straightforward. I made a video about that, didn't I? Look up Don's number, Tommy Bryson. I made a video about it, I think. But it's basically just registering for it, and then you're pretty good to go and pretty solid. People use it a lot to acquire like massive amounts of credits. I'm not a big fan of that anymore. Casho, yes sir. Tommy, how you doing? I'm doing great, Casho. Nice to see you back in the live. Guys, any questions, let me know. The Zoom room is still empty. So I'm gonna give you guys, for example, 1 more minute to go ahead and join the Zoom room, or for example, call me directly on that number, the 518-635-0992 number. You can call me on that number directly and talk to me live one-on-one right now. If we have no more questions, I'm gonna go ahead and basically end this live right now, and I'll see you guys back tomorrow. Now, here's the announcement, guys, okay? Starting next week, so today is Wednesday, we have tomorrow and Friday left. Starting next week, most likely I will not be going live Monday to Friday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. I'll most likely put it down to run, for example, maybe 2 times a week to 3 times a week. That's why I always say, you know, when I do these things where I do them a lot, take advantage, talk to me one-on-one, because basically me firstly getting started, building that first initial fan base, and then you guys can basically go ahead, grab my attention, and just basically ask me whatever you guys actually want to ask me. So starting next week, potentially, we're just going to be going live, for example, 2 times a week or 3 times a week, okay? 1 time might be for questions, 1 time maybe, for example, like a general topic, and then from that, we're going to grab that and basically just put out a lot of content on the channel through clips and so on. But yeah, it will be like 2 hours and 2 hours, so it's still like a 4-hour live. But again, whenever the shows are kind of like, okay, so all questions have been answered, I'm not going to drag it on, right? Because you don't want to do that. So yeah, any more questions, guys? What's that saying people use? There's a saying, I forgot what the saying is. It's like they say, okay, so here's a question, like last call. You guys know, like, last call for Tommy. All right, so Rich Money, I'm looking at getting into government contracting, and it's one of the things that they require, but I was having issues because when I hit submit, it would just load and load and load and would never. So yeah, it sounds like a technical issue. So maybe just contact them directly, right? So contact them directly and find out what's actually going on. You know, something might happen. Or go on Chrome and go on incognito mode. Sometimes maybe it's just like the cookies on your browser. That could be a problem. Yeah, you can do that. Contact directly, or just contact like a CPA to help you with their whole process and just apply for it for you. And that way, you don't really gotta worry about it. If you really want to do it. But guys, overall, that has been today's live. I'm sorry we cut it short today. We only did like an hour today. Usually it's 2 hours, but I promised myself that when I come on here, we'll have, for example, like a general topic. So today's topic was basically side hustles, and then I'll basically zoom in, answer questions and everything like that. But once the question's over, I'm not gonna drag it on, because the whole goal is to give you guys value and value and value, and also connect with you guys. You know, that's my favorite part here, to connect with you guys like one-on-one. So again, appreciate you guys a ton. Thank you for joining me again. Love you guys so much. Welcome to the long-term team. As always, long-term team for the win. As always, like this live is how we keep it alive. Oh, look at that. Like this live is how we keep it alive. That's so cool, right? And also subscribe if you're brand new to this channel, if you just found it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for our next live. Remember though, starting next week, I will not be doing this like this anymore. So take advantage. Schedule calls. Talk to me one-on-one. Join the Zooms. Participate. It'll be very cool, okay? See you guys next time. As always, peace.